You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Moon opposite Neptune, but trine Mercury. You'd think I'd be able to come up with an amazing title for this one, but no. Daily Horoscope for Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. Good morning, friends. On Monday, when Mercury and Neptune were in their sextile, I spent a good chunk of my day creating a mnemonic device for memorizing the 78 tarot cards. I must confess that I do not have them all memorized and at the ready when I am reading the cards. There are a lot of cards that I still have to look up to see what they mean before I write the interpretations. When I started adding a daily card to my daily horoscope back in May of last year, it was to deepen my relationship with the tarot and create a daily practice that would hopefully over time teach me the cards so that I knew them by heart, and that has certainly worked for a handful of cards, but not all. Recently, I have become somewhat obsessed with learning memory techniques and applying them to my studies of astrology and as a homeschool mom to the curriculums that I am teaching my kids. We just memorized the United States presidents in order, for example. Go ahead, you can ask me which president was number 25, 10, 11, 43, or any number, and I can tell you in a few minutes. So can my teenage daughter. My younger students are still working on them, but you get the idea. So I have started applying some memory techniques to learn the tarot cards by heart. The specific technique I am implementing combines analyzing the card and its basic meanings, a very mercurial activity, and creating imagery that evokes the meanings I am trying to remember, a very Neptunian activity. I really feel that this is a good reflection of Mercury in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces. It has so many elements of these energies working together in a constructive way, using my mind, Mercury, in a systematic way to achieve a goal, Capricorn, by creating images in my imagination, Neptune, that evoke meaning, esoteric knowledge, and often emotions, Pisces, to remember the cards. Okay, but enough about my fun memory gymnastics. Let's get into the astrology. Today, the moon is in Virgo all day, and she makes some pretty powerful aspects. First, last night she finished the day with an opposition to Venus in Pisces and a trine to Uranus in Taurus, so that could have made for an interesting and surprising evening. Something could have been off that needed immediate attention. The first thing that comes to mind with Venus is pleasant aesthetics in the home being challenged by something yucky, like mouse poop or something. If you find mouse poop, then you have to immediately handle it and clean it up, right? Or maybe your toilet gets clogged and you have to immediately get the plunger out and deal with it. You spill a glass of milk on the table and you have to immediately wipe it up before it flows off the table onto the carpet. Something like that. Something that happens in the home that needs immediate attention and is an accident or surprise. But today, the moon will form an opposition to Neptune in Pisces at 3:38 p.m. Eastern Time, and this will manifest differently than the opposition to Venus did. Moon opposite Neptune could feel more like uncertainty, confusion, loss, or experiencing disappointment in some way. Maybe you just want to get away from it all today and escape into your bedroom to watch movies and eat bonbons. Oh man, if they made dairy-free bonbons, I'd be in big trouble. Or maybe you just found out some upsetting news about someone being deceptive or secretive in some way, and it just has you feeling lost and sad all day. Whatever the manifestation of this transit today brings, it will hopefully be softened by the moon's trine to Mercury. The moon in Virgo will form a trine to Mercury in Capricorn at 9:29 p.m. Eastern Time, and so by the end of the day, maybe we will all feel much better. The moon and Mercury in a positive, easy-flowing, harmonious trine relationship could bring more thoughtfulness, good judgment, and positive communication to our day. Travel conditions could be good, and people could act more adaptable and flexible, going with the flow more than being resistant and oppositional. There could also be a sense of ease when doing mercurial things like writing, speaking, and learning. This could be really good for my homeschooling day. You hear that, kids? The moon is trine Mercury, and it makes learning easy and fun, and children are more willing to go with the flow. I'm not sure if they were listening. I'll let you know tomorrow. After the moon makes her trine to Mercury, she will finish off the night with a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. At 11:51 p.m. Eastern Time, she will reach 28 degrees of Virgo, forming a partile trine to Pluto. This transit will go exact at 1:38 a.m. tomorrow morning, but we will definitely feel it in the evening tonight as the energy builds towards the trine. This transit brings about intense feelings, radical change in a positive direction, and emotional transformation. The moon and Pluto together in a trine could represent deep loving feelings in a relationship. This combination could also mean managing your finances well or taking on a position of leadership within the family or a group. Or it could mean finding a spider and lovingly releasing it out into the wild. I know, I always talk about spiders with Moon-Pluto transits. Oh well. Anyway, let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? King of Swords. On this card, we see a king sitting on his throne. He is holding a large sword upright in his right hand, the hand of the conscious and rational way of thinking, and pointing it a little to the left of the card. The left represents the subconscious, intuitive way of thinking. This symbolizes that although the King of Swords uses his intellect to decipher the situation he faces, he stays open to receiving intuitive messages. Adorning his throne are butterflies, crescent moons, and a small angel. The angel looks like he is perched over his left shoulder, whispering guidance into the king's ear. Behind him are trees and a few fluffy clouds that seem to be standing still, symbolizing stability and clarity instead of the disorienting movement caused by the winds of change. The court cards can represent people in our lives, or they can represent a situation that embodies the energy of the court card. So in this case, we have the King of Swords, which could quite literally represent an older man who is a master at communication, someone who can use their words effectively, like a lawyer, a mediator, a diplomat, a skilled doctor at delivering hard news, or even a skilled astrologer at delineation. Swords can also represent someone of nobility or of very high stature. As an energy, the King of Swords represents using our words to effectively communicate, making sure our intent is the desired effect, and speaking with clarity and precision, but staying flexible and incorporating our intuition when appropriate. As the card for the day, I feel this could either represent someone that you may encounter, seek guidance and advice from, or have a conversation with, or you could be the one whose guidance and advice are sought after. It could also signify using our intellect, rational mind, and our intuitive subconscious mind together to deliver our words today and find a balance between the two. Communicating effectively starts with listening effectively. So listen and communicate to the best of your ability today and every day, right? Take notes if you have to. Face the people you are talking to and give them good eye contact. I would love to know what this card means to you, so please leave a comment. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the A.E. Waite Holographic Tarot, available on Amazon. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a small commission, but there are no additional costs to you. I don't share or recommend things that I don't 100% believe in and use myself. Thanks for listening.